Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos al cuarto podcast de Talking About Kennett Square. Hoy Kyle Coleman y Mayra Zavála estarán respondiendo importantes preguntas que usted debe conocer.
Sure. So I'm Kyle Coleman. I'm the Borough Manager as of mid-September 2021, going on about 7 months here. And we have a new council as of January, but one of our continuing council members is Councilmember Zavála. So just happy to have her here today. And I think this is our fourth one of these episodes. So hopefully we continue to get more and more questions, more and more feedback, and just frankly more and more traffic, whether it's in person or by call or email to our staff with stuff that we can help with.
Thanks, Kyle. Hi, everyone. My name is Mayra Zavála, and I'm an elected member of the Kennett Square Borough Council. I started my term in January 2020, and that goes through the end of 2023. I grew up in Kennett Square, so it's been great to come back to this community and make some changes that are for the betterment of this town.
Vamos con la primera pregunta. Después del cierre del hospital de Jennersville, ¿por qué no se procede a instalar, a construir un nuevo hospital acá en Kennett Square? ¿Existe algún plan?
So we haven't formally discussed bringing a hospital to Kennett Borough, and one of the main reasons for that is that we are 1 square mile, at least the borough itself, and with that, it means that there's very limited availability for development. I don't believe we've been approached by anybody who has an interest in bringing a hospital to town either. But Kyle, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
No, I would agree with what you said. We haven't been approached. I think this is one of those things that's a regional need. I know that our elected officials get that at the county level. I would say to continue to remind those officials that this is an important thing, that there is a public health benefit to having Jennersville Hospital or something to replace it. So, continuing to voice that opinion. It's, to your point, we just probably don't have enough people here for a hospital to justify setting up shop here, unfortunately.
Pregunta 2. Hemos visto que los trabajos de la librería avanzan muy rápidamente. ¿Esto quiere decir que vamos a poder inaugurar la librería antes de lo pautado?
They're still on track for the same timeline, which is roughly a year from now. So with construction, you never quite know, especially now with everything being delayed, you never quite know if all the pieces will come in. But I know they've done a really good job of pre-ordering their materials and kind of locking in a lot of the main pieces. So unfortunately, to the question, I think it will still be their planned end time.
And we're very excited to welcome this to the community. I think it'll be a great value add, and a lot of people are going to benefit from all of the amenities and the services that they will provide.
Yeah.
Pregunta 3. Hemos visto que, por ejemplo, en el caso del precio de la gasolina, los precios están bajando. ¿Esto continuará? ¿Volveremos a esa normalidad que teníamos hace un par de años?
I don't have a great answer for that one. It's kind of a challenge working in local government that we don't have control of a lot of things. So we manage the local construction, we manage local zoning. If you have an issue, you should come to us. I think we've expanded our scope to something like the Human Relations Commission, which is a benefit to the community. But as far as inflation and gas prices, I don't have a good feel on that.
Yeah, I'll echo Kyle's thoughts. I think it's really unfortunate. I feel like prices continue to go up, and I think that's really unfortunate. And we see it affect members of the community with cost of housing, cost of groceries, cost of gas. And I think we're all hoping for that to, slow down. But unfortunately, it's kind of beyond our local control, and a lot of that has to do with global events and just things that happen above the local level. So we internally try to do the best that we can to support our residents and make sure that hopefully everybody that if somebody needs help with somebody, they can access social services, or that we can direct them to the services that they need, at least.
Yeah.
Pregunta 4. Hemos escuchado de que próximamente Victory estará reabriendo sus puertas. ¿Saben algo sobre ello?
It is. We're really excited to welcome both Victory Brewing Company and the apartments that sit above it come back to this community. And I think we're expected to see that within the next couple months. I know that the apartments have already had an open house earlier this week to get community interested and comfortable with looking at applications and moving into the residences. But I think it's been a little over a year since the unfortunate events of 2021 happened, and we're excited for them to be able to turn over a new leaf.
It really is amazing. I mean, it was a little before my time here, but just seeing the pictures and that to imagining people living there and going through full safety inspections, but to have that rebuild and reopen it's pretty exciting.
Pregunta 5. Se fue el frío, así que viene la época que todos queremos disfrutar. En estas fechas se cierran las calles para que la gente pueda disfrutar, comer y caminar. Ahora, quisiéramos saber cuáles son esos días o esas fechas pautadas para hacer los cierres.
So before COVID started, we had a history of closing our main street every third Thursday, allowing our businesses on State Street to invite people to come and enjoy the fresh air and be able to dine outdoors. During COVID, that kind of expanded a little bit to more days of the week to help the businesses do well during these difficult times. Now that a lot of the mandates have been lifted, we're starting to go back to third Thursdays. So we'll continue to see that throughout 2022, sorry. And our hope is that we continue to make it a very inclusive event, that we're welcoming people from all walks of life and that everybody feels comfortable. So we're looking at ways to be able to do that and to just get it to be an event that harmonizes everybody in the community.
Yeah, I think that was well said. I mean, you've been a real champion on that. We're always looking for ways to do it more efficiently, to save public dollars for things like closing down streets, reopening them. So I think we found a good balance every third Thursday where we're going to try and do some more inclusive programming, make it a bigger event, while at the same time respecting the needs of, people who need it for transit, who need that space, our public staff time, things like that. So I think it'll be a good program, and hopefully people agree.
Yeah. And I think while we're on that subject, we'd love to hear from the public of what type of programming would make this a more inclusive event. Specifically with our Latino community, what would you like to see on State Street? What things would draw you to come out and participate?
Pregunta 6. En algunos estados del país están exigiendo la utilización de las mascarillas. ¿Creen ustedes que los casos de COVID están nuevamente aumentando?
It feels like they're all over the place. So for the time being, our policy is still more relaxed in terms of something like Cinco de Mayo. There isn't a capacity limit based on COVID. But it's one of those things where we're going to defer to our local experts. So we tend to look to the city of Philadelphia, the state of Pennsylvania, for what their direction is. So I suspect we would go that route. That's at least what we've been doing internally for staff.
I think we're hoping that numbers continue to go down, but we obviously would love to encourage everybody to exercise caution, to mask up if needed, and to get your COVID vaccines or boosters if appropriate.
And it does feel like we're at this stage now where You should respect everyone, and if people want to wear a mask, keep your distance from them. Like have a little, decency, right? And respect what other people want. And if you choose to go to an event, try to be safe and courteous to other people. So I know it's a real challenge that I've personally gotten a lot of requests for Cinco de Mayo in particular. A lot of people excited about it. But on the other hand, there is always that thought in the back of your head.
Pregunta 7. Hemos visto acá en Kennett Square muchas construcciones, pero queremos saber si en el futuro van a seguir construyendo.
So I think for Kennett Borough Council, the conversation is constantly centered around affordable housing. And there's constant talk about development and the path forward. We continue to have those discussions, and currently the big discussion item is around developing the NBF Center. So we've talked about ideas, we've talked with developers, and so the intent would be to, we don't have any plans finalized, and I think ultimately it rests with the developers in partnership with council, but there's talk about affordable housing or some type of mixed price point housing. We've talked about things like bringing some smaller grocery stores that are accessible, especially to people who don't have transportation to our to supermarkets in neighboring towns. But the other exciting thing is that we recently purchased 600 South Broad Street, which is directly in front of Kennett High School, which will ultimately house our police department and government services. And so there will be some development there with some potential new businesses popping in there as well.
Yeah, and I think as far as larger developments that you'll see on West State Street, there are some apartments going in there. Those are still a ways out from getting into construction. But I think what's worth highlighting is Red Clay Manor. And maybe you can talk to it more, but on your point of affordability, that's something the last council accomplished. This is housing at different price points. It's predominantly elder, residents going in there. So, as far as large developments coming in, there is at least one that has that element of affordable housing. So it's good to see the priorities matched with action.
Right, and we're thinking that hopefully it'll be something that caters to different people in the community, as Kyle said, the elder community, and just really branch out from what we've typically seen in the borough in the last several years.
Yeah.
Pregunta 8. Se acercan dos eventos muy importantes. El 7 de mayo, la celebración del 5 de mayo y la Kennett Run. ¿Cuántas personas creen ustedes que van a asistir a estos tan importantes eventos de Kennett Square?
So I don't have a great sense of the total number of volunteers, but from what I've heard, and I haven't been in town, I joined since the last Cinco de Mayo, but from what I understand, there's a lot of people there. It's really well run. I've seen the site layouts. It's well organized in terms of, flow of people. And I know the Kennett Run is a staple of the community too. So I don't have a number, but I know that people should show up expecting it to be well run.
Yeah. I think both the Kennett Run and the Cinco de Mayo Festival are two of the events in town that we're most proud of. They do a great job of bringing people together and attracting a lot of people. We've seen thousands of people gather at both of these events in the past, and unfortunately during the COVID period, there were some years where these events weren't able to happen as they normally have. But I think this year we should be able to see more of a return to normalcy, and particularly with Cinco de Mayo, one of the things I love about it is that it really does a great job of bringing people together, of being an educational forum, of educating on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I believe they've really accomplished so much and have positioned themselves as one of the largest Cinco de Mayo festivals just nationwide.
Yeah, I love the fact that we're known regionally for that event. So it should be interesting this year to see how the two events kind of fit together on the same day.
All right.
And I believe it's May
7th and May 8th.
Sounds right.
So we're hoping to welcome you all. Come out, support businesses, and get to learn more about the culture and about the town.
Yeah. Sure. So thanks for tuning in again. I appreciate Councilmember Zavála coming on. I think it was some good questions. As always, please continue to send us more questions. Not only through this platform, but come into Borough Hall, email us, call us, send us a letter. I mean, that's who we work for. So we're happy to take those questions. There was a good point made. Councilmember Zavála said, it might be helpful to give a sense of what the structure of the borough is. And so our borough has 7 elected officials. Mayra is one of them. And we take votes on local issues. So, rezoning, so what can go whether or not you can install a fence, inspecting rentals, so making sure that people have a safe place to live. The elected council works in concert with me as the borough manager. I lead our staff. So the people out there, fixing potholes, mowing grass, doing inspections, that's under my purview. So we work really well together. And then we have a mayor additionally who works with our police chief Holdsworth. We've got a great department over there. And so all together, we have elected officials and staff working together to provide the services of the borough. And that's, we work in concert with Chester County. We work in concert with townships around us, the state, and hopefully get some federal money too. But it's, I think the takeaway should be, if you have a question, come to the borough, and if we're not the right people for it, we'll get you to the right people. But we see ourselves as the front door of the community.
Yeah, I think importantly, we work with you and for you. So it is important to us to hear from you. We meet every first Monday and Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. So please feel free to join us. We'd love to hear about the things that you're seeing in the borough, if there's anything we can help you, or if there's anything that you would like to see, and incorporate that into our discussion. Thanks so much again for having us. Reach out if you need anything from us.
Thank you.
Gracias por acompañarnos en este cuarto podcast de Talking About Kennett Square. Nos vemos en una próxima entrega. Recuerden, noticias, respuestas, preguntas aquí en Talking About Kennett Square. Es importante, amigo latino.